through the
All right, so we are thinking about doing some type of weekly podcast or show. So we want to know what you guys want us to talk about. Questions that are going to be answered. One of the things we're going to talk about with relationships is, I know I work with my wife. You're like, we've been married going on 20 years this year, and she's been, we've spent our literal lives together. Like she don't go to work for 8 hours and come back. Like, no, she right here. There she is. I can look, but she ain't over here. But when I look this way, she gonna be right here. You see what I'm saying? So can you work? I want to hear from y'all on this. Can you work with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, wife, husband? Can y'all do business together? How's that been going? Me and my wife, we figured it out. Certain things you gotta leave, let business be business and let it go. I don't want the fact that, the deal didn't go through to mess up, the meal for the day. Like I say, some of y'all might do bad business.
Or the dessert later on.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Like, boy,
the whole day messed up.
Like, bro, Jugger get in the studio, can't finish his verse, and don't get none when he get home.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Because my wife has been an engineer. She's done everything in my career. Mona's been there. So everything that we've done together. And I don't know if people can spend that much time together. Like, that's spending your literal life with somebody. I don't know what is the average time limit, and do you have to get away? Like your wife works away from you.
Yeah.
How much time, and is that necessary, or can y'all do the same thing all day with each other? I want to know.
Well, my wife is a teacher. She a high school teacher. So when she done with the kids, she just want to come home and rest with talk for a minute.
So what if you were her? What is the thing where you're an assistant in her class or whatever? Parapro. What if you had to be around?
I don't public school no more.
But I'm saying, what if you had to be around your wife?
He went back to a place right there.
He
went back to a place.
Never again.
I substituted my mama class one time for half a day. They had a meeting with all the teachers in the library or something. She taught on Cleveland Avenue. Elementary.
Lord.
5th grade. So she asked me to come sub half a day. I'm like, I do half a day. I walk in the room, kids just good. I'm like, oh, this will be a breeze. I'll kick my feet back. Soon as my mama walked out the door, they went crazy. I was like, what is wrong with y'all? That man jumping, standing on the tables, on the bench. I'm like, bro, what are y'all doing? And the girl, I forgot the girl's name. So I was like, okay, y'all calm down. Let's play a game, I Spy. Bruh, it was the ghettoest game of I Spy. I was like, I Spy something blue.
Ghetto I Spy game.
This girl was like, it's this blue gum this boy smacking in my ear. I'm like, bruh, y'all so, bruh, it was horrible. And then the biggest kid in the class, his name was James.
Of course.
Big James.
He was standing up on the stuff, and bruh, I'm serious. I had to pick him up on my hip and carry him to the office.
Wait, what grade is this?
5th grade.
Goodness.
It was horrible. And then the next time she said, hey, we got another meeting. I said, no, I'm not doing it. Watch this. I came up there, I had to take something to her. She said she left something, go by and get it and bring it to her. But they'll be in the library, so I had to take it to her class. So she had another substitute in there. Man, I walked in there, it looked like the same class. Everybody was jumping. I was like, sorry, bro, I'm leaving this for my mom. He was like, it was a little kid tapping him on the shoulder. He was like, thank you, bro. What? Bro, I kid you not. This is what he did. He said, thank you, bro. What? You make me sick. I kid you not. That is a true story. I said, bro, I know what you mean, bro. He literally said, it was a big black dude, I forgot his name. But he was so sad. Like, thank you, I give you, what? You make me sick. I was like, man. Bro, I kid you, so yeah, I don't do public school no more. I can't do public school.
We were talking about
spending
your life.
Yeah.
And we got to this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You pay he told a kid, "You make me sick." The kid was tapping him while I was trying to give him the thing. So he, doing this, and he getting something in the bag, out of the bag or something. I don't know. I was like, "Yeah, I just see it drop it off for my mama." Miss He's like, "Okay, I'll make sure I can." What? Make me sick, bruh. I kid you not. I was like, man, I know, I get it. Good luck to you. But bro, I said, okay. Cleveland Avenue, 5th grade, bro.
Well,
what?
All right, man. We about to go. Oh, you stupid. We about to go. Listen. Yeah. What's up? I don't know. I mean, when you're in it, it's regular to you. So, working with your spouse, I don't see it a lot. I see sometimes people do certain things together, different ventures together, but then they have their own jobs, which equals time away. So
I think we took the time to cultivate it. Like, we actually paid attention to what we were doing as business partners. Because, we were new at it. There's no school that you can go to, no class that you can take to make that happen.
Did y'all set boundaries?
You said you set the boundaries early.
Set the boundaries.
Like what? You don't know how to set boundaries when you're new at it, but over time you set boundaries. Like we have a time that we clock out. Like for the kids, you got to stop. Cause Derek, we used to work
all night,
24/7, bro. Yeah. And if we were together, we were so bad that Lovey took her first flight a week old. A week old. She was on the plane going to a gig.
No, what you say when you went to the hospital?
Lovey.
No. Yeah, that's right. When
with Lovey, yeah.
With Lovey, yeah.
And that joker was in the bed.
Shut up, man.
Bruh, I done snuck in the hospital.
Night. Yeah, he snuck in because
Mona just had Lovey.
We wanted that time for ourselves.
Lovey in the nursery. I done snuck in the hospital, got all the way to their room, knock on the door.
You're like, who is that?
I opened the door. He in the delivery bed like this. And Mona sitting on I'm like,
and Mona sitting there
watching the baby.
She working. He left.
Bro, I was just sitting there laughing.
Man, I was tired, man.
Like, he was tired. I was like, bro, who had the baby, bro?
But the boundaries, you gotta set boundaries with everything. I suggest. But if you have a business and your wife or a girlfriend have a business, that time away, that's the time. Most people get into other things when they're away. Yeah. So.
And then people have what they call them, work wives and work husbands.
Yeah.
Work wives.
No, we ain't doing that. Work wife, work husband. No, we ain't doing that. You can't have no work husband.
But we spent our literal like every single day working on Kingdom. Staff like Mona has reported me in the studio. She's been the engineer before. She know how to run sessions. She know how to set up. Y'all, if you paying this way and see all the lights over here, y'all look. Point the camera this way. Like she know how to do all of that. And, of course, I got a beast. GCS to help him, but she knows how to set everything up. And so through our career, everything that I was able to do, I taught her so that if it come crunch time and I need her to help me, she was my DJ this past weekend at the Eddie Awards.
Okay.
We didn't want to bring an extra person.
The party going.
We wanted to go in there and have legal sex. And we didn't want to have to pay for nobody else.
Right. I was like, what?
So she became our DJ. Now there's a lot of perks, with having your wife, but sometimes people can't stand being in the same space with a person that long. I understand. They be like, man, you got to go somewhere. I don't know where, but you got to go somewhere, and they have to spend some time together so that they can miss each other to come back. We haven't had that issue. We're blessed in that, but I don't know if people can do it.
I think it's also you got to be complimentary to work. If both of you are kind of headstrong visionaries, it tends to clash. If one is more where it's a balance. Like one is more administrative and one is visionary. That's how me and my wife is.
I think that's
I'm more visionary,
yeah.
and my wife is more administrative, and she wants to be in the back. Like, no, don't get that mic out my face, you know. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'm more visual or whatnot, and that complemented, and also making sure it's assignment based. If you both have assignments that don't clash, it's when you're trying to do the same thing that you can, you know, that's what
we were both creative. You can get anything done.
If the assignment is okay, this is your assignment, this is my assignment, and then you both meet, you know, okay, did you do yours? Yeah, I did mine.
I cannot do, and I've tried. It's just not in my cards to do anything administrative. I've tried.
It is not.
I've tried.
It is not.
But I'm a creative person. But my wife if she doesn't tell me what I have to do,
he will book everything on one day and tell everybody I'll be there, and get a call on the day of from California. To my bro, y'all on the way. Oh man,
I've triple booked in different cities at one time.
That's like, you got to be if you compliment each other, it works better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it can't work, but it works better if you know there's balance. One person is outspoken, one person
and
soft-spoken, one person introverted, one person extroverted. It's like
the time away. You got to make up for that time away. If you guys need your space. Some people need their space. I need to go to work and be away from you. You know, y'all come from two different worlds, and it's tough. So I would suggest that you make sure that you compliment each other when it comes to like I guess the time that I think the one time that I did have a job for a short time, she was still up there, so it don't even matter. I can't even remember, man, not being there. When I worked at World Changers, as I was doing music for the youth, she was there. She volunteered, just, you know. And at first I used to think that she think you gonna cheat on her, so she wanna watch it. She wanna watch it. And then I was like, nah, she just wanna be around me, and it worked. And I wanted to be around her. And another thing is, she hid a lot of of the things that I couldn't do. She did. So they thought it was just coming from me when it was coming. The emails. Yeah, if you get an email from me that ain't what up, or hey, I be there, or
nah.
Yeah. But anything that has, you know, more than a paragraph, that's Mona, you know, and she's been a compliment to me for my entire career. And so, but everybody can't do that. Everybody can't do that. Everybody can't spend that time together. So what is the maximum average of time that a person needs away? Like how much time do you need away in a day from a person that you with?
In a day, I just feel like sometimes you just need like your own personal thing. Like maybe it's like your hobby or something.
But how much time is
But
that?
it depends on the dynamic of the relationship. Where you and Mona are together, you would need time away. My wife is at school. In summertime, she's not. But like during the school,
that's home, but
you said to go
hey,
down
Tim.
with
Hey, Tim.
Love you,
that's home, but
What up, Tim?
she's not at school right now.
But you know when she's at work, it's okay. She come home. Okay, how much time do we need together? So you know what I'm saying? I'll say it depends on the dynamic.
And our dynamic too is different. Now I'm thinking about it because there are some times where I have to go away for a couple days. Well, I don't see her at all. She at home with the kids, and I'm gone. And so that happens, especially with Lovey doing AAU.
Oh,
Bruh, yesterday we were in Americus, Georgia, 5 games. To drive back to get to the high school to play another game, you know. And so that's 2 full days away from them, you know, and that's real because I don't want the boys to just have to sit around took styles with me, but that is a different dynamic. So we do have extended times where I have to go you know, on a trip where I can't, you know, she's not going, you know, but for the most part, we're together, you know. And so I just think that, you know, if you're not used to it, they'll both start saying, don't you have something else that you could be doing right now? You know, if they're not, especially if they're both headstrong and got their own companies and businesses. And so I would love to really have an entirely different show or whatever we're doing, to just focus on how do you do that, because sometimes you go into a relationship where a person have their whole life already set up, and I just need you to be a companion. I don't need you to make no money for me. I don't know, you know, I just need you to be there when I need you to be there, but I don't need you for nothing else.
I mean, that kind of happened with us because you were doing your thing. You were in the studio, you had, you know, your business started, so I had to get in there and learn. Yep. I didn't love it at first, but now I do.
And the Lord
but
told
I had
me,
to get in there and learn it in order to be a part of His world.
The Lord Jehovah told me to give her my schedule. Let her run my schedule. I'm like, man, I've been running my schedule I had started my business, but two years. I'm like, what do you like? Jay Black, remember we used to book 3 or 4 sessions at one time, forgetting. I used to try to do everything in my head. You know, 5 o'clock, 4 people show up.
You got it.
And I'm like,
you got a lot of mantles, but administration ain't one.
With me and Black, like, and things didn't start happening in my life till my wife started like setting up the schedule right, you know, and so I didn't even release a record. I had so many songs, but I just didn't release them because I was so creative and I love creating, but I didn't take the time to register the song, put the song in. Even right now, I got like 60 songs, and my wife is like, put it out. You know, and you know, we come from the album era. We don't come from the single era. You know, so you know, Minion has released an album and 2 singles since I did my last project. So I'm coming out with more music. But my point is that without her, I haven't been able to function. And I realized that God I don't want to say leaves you incomplete, but He leaves you needing somebody so that you're not a person that's on an island. You're gonna always need somebody. And so, but that's a whole nother show. We about to end this thing. I know you had a segment that you want to. Oh, you did yours already. What is it?
I was gonna do another one.
It was
the basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, you did yours, the unibrow thing. All right. So look, man, we're gonna try to do this, you know, once a week. It just come talk to y'all. I think Kingdom is more than just somebody getting preached at. You know, we gotta have a.
And we want discussion. The dialogue. That's the whole point. We want the dialogue.
Somebody got one more question on Facebook?
I'm in a 10-year relationship, yet I'm afraid of marriage.
You're in a 10-year relationship,
but afraid. What's the fear? What's the feir?
Yeah, what's your fear? You already married.
Yeah.
To be honest,
what's the fear?
Yeah, all right.
10 years.
Yeah. By law, you probably you common law married. You know what I'm saying?
You a newlywed.
No. What are you afraid of?
Yeah. What's the fear?
Most of the fear, I can tell you, most of the fear that most people fear comes outside of the relationship. It comes from what happened with homeboy and his girl, what happened, what you read on the internet, and all that type of stuff.
He gonna act crazy.
What is it?
Oh, he gonna act crazy because you want to be married? Oh, he doesn't want to be married.
He's gonna act crazy when you get married. That's
a fear.
That's a fear.
Well, when people say,
well, look. I mean, if you've been with him for 10 years and he ain't crazy, you know. Now, what it is if you guys are not living together, then occupying that space. See, it's one thing, you know, and I'm gonna be 1 million with you. It's one thing to be with somebody, sleep over their house for a while, you know, have sex with them and all that. But when you get married and y'all can't go nowhere,
right, every day,
and that's a whole different something. All right, and so, but the whole thing is you got to have faith in the institution of marriage, one, to be able to change yourself, and that he's going to change himself. I don't know if I'm talking to I'm talking to a female. All right, so you got to have faith in God that He is going to make that man change, and you have to be open to change. When y'all come, let's just say you live in a house by yourself right now. You got kids. He live in a house by himself. He got kids or whatever. Both y'all have stove, refrigerator. You ain't gonna be able to have 2 stoves, 2 refrigerators, 2 everything. You got to make a choice. That is the government of family.
Yeah.
All right, the government of family. When you set up a system to where this is how we make our choices. This is how we build this relationship. This is how we do this. You have to trust that, and you got to trust God. You got to get in the presence of God and do what He's telling you to do. If there's no God in this, then as soon as the reason why people go crazy, you can be together for 20 years and not be married, but then when you get into the institution of marriage, because you have to change at that time. When you start bringing them 2 worlds together, somebody has to change. Both people have to change and edit their lifestyles with the help of God. Now, you know, you can't have the side men and the side chicks and all that type of stuff. You gotta change. And that's one of the main things people don't want to do. They want the relationship part of it, but they don't want to change.
Please understand when you...
Yeah, this getting deeper. And she say, he has mama issues and I have daddy issues.
Yeah, what I mean, that's still God. It ain't. You gotta have the God.
Yeah, you're talking about change. You're gonna always be changing anyway.
Yeah, you're gonna change.
We still are changing, and we've been married 20 years, so you're always changing it.
See,
you got daddy issues and mommy issues.
The mama issues and daddy issues are there, but y'all still been together for 10 years.
So something's working.
Something working. You like something. Something you coming back to. You ain't gotta tell me what it is. You don't have to tell me what it is. Lord Jesus. But there's a reason why this thing has worked for 10 years. All right? And whatever you see in that person, you know, you got to believe that God is going to make that better.
In this marriage, do you feel like, well, if we don't get married, then I always have a way out?
Oh.
You can always walk away. So is that the thing? That you feel like, well, if this don't work out after 10 years, I can just walk away. I don't have to worry about getting divorced and paperwork and all that other stuff.
Whenever you build something on fear, then fear is going to always control it.
Yeah.
You know, you got to build it on faith. I believe God. I believe this is the man or woman for my life, and I believe that it's going to work. I believe that we're going to get married. We're going to stay married. I believe that God's going to bring the money that we need in our relationship. I believe that the daddy issues that I have are being resolved in the name of Jesus, because God is my heavenly Father, and the Spirit is the thing that makes everything perfect. So if I got the Spirit, you know, I could be missing in all areas. I could have mama and daddy issues, but if the Holy Spirit is there to make sure that nothing is missing, nothing is broken, and in the Spirit of the Lord, the presence of the Lord, there's fullness of joy. So that means He makes up for all the things that went wrong in the relationship or in your life. You know, you could have daddy issues, daddy was never there. Don't use that crutch. Right. Change your confession to, you know what? Even though my daddy wasn't there, even though my mom wasn't there, I don't have trust issues in that area. Right. And let me tell you something. You overcome that. You've been in a relationship for 10 years.
Right.
All right, so right now, there's a girlfriend or a boyfriend or somebody in your life that's speaking into your life that's making it negative. Right. You better trust God.
And please understand, when you get married, it's going to be different. God is going to blow on it. You feel like, okay, it's been 10 years, it's been great. It's going to be even better when you get married. It's more that comes with it. But God is waiting on you to make that step, to trust Him.
Marriage is good. It's awesome. All right, it is awesome. And you're going to have your fights. But you're going to have your fights with anybody.
Right.
Yeah. You're going to have
work with anybody.
You know?
Y'all been fighting for 10 years.
Right.
You're fighting now. But the whole thing is y'all can go back to each other's apartment or house, or y'all live with your mamas or whatever.
And it sounds like to me, it sounds like there's a fear of commitment.
Yeah.
Meaning,
that's
not committed is just as far as, you know, sexually, but committed to the other person.
Yep.
And being all in, and that's where the fear is, and the issue, the mama issue, the daddy issue is, you're either trying to find somebody to fill that void, and you don't trust that person's gonna do that, or this, that, and the third. But marriage is about commitment to the other person as a whole. You're committed to their happiness, like, and the 11th year, me and my wife been married 15 years. In the 11th year of our marriage, we had a big blow up. Yeah, we had a big blow up, and out of that blow up came, okay, from this day forward, I'm committed to making you happy. My happiness is not even on me no more. It's your job to make me happy. It's my job. Don't make yourself. My job is to make you happy. And what that did, it took the selfishness and the competitiveness out of marriage. Because before then, it's okay. Well, I gotta do what make me happy.
I gotta get mine. Yeah.
That's not one. That's two people in the same house. Right. One is where, okay, we're together, and I'm no longer worried about when my happiness is on you. Then it takes the selfishness off of you, and it takes the selfishness off of me, and it puts my concern for you. And that's when I say committed. That has nothing to do with sexual. It just has to do with committing to, you being that peace for the other person that makes their life whole. Yeah. So I think it's a commitment thing.
Yeah. Facebook.
Derek asks, what is your advice for young men discouraged from getting married? There's a lot of conversation around young bloods not seeing the value in marriage. What are your thoughts?
Because the person that they're listening to
got hurt.
The Bible says, walk not in the counsel of the ungodly. Yep. They are receiving counsel from ungodly at the family reunion, on the Facebook post,
on radio,
music, radio. Your favorite artist, it puts an Instagram post, and you're taking that counsel. Yeah. You are taking counsel from the wrong person.
And also, you see in pop culture, marriage is not working. It's so blasé. Yeah. But you see, they keep trying.
Why?
Yeah. And so because there's something there, you can have a person that sells millions of records, and they can sleep with whoever they want to. They still want to try marriage because there's something about having somebody to themselves. And then it's just the world that tears it apart. That everybody just speaks into it. No, it's not gonna last.
God created the human experience in His likeness and in His image. So therefore, we have a yearning for community. Mm-hmm. They're 3 in 1, 1 in 3. And so everything about us has a yearning for love and has a yearning for a connection with other people. Nobody likes to be lonely. Nobody likes to be, in a place where they're alone. So we have a yearning. That's why if you don't have a daddy, there's what's called neglect, and you have trauma, and you have all these issues because there's a void where the community doesn't exist. So what do? You go try to find it somewhere else. That's why the term looking for love in all the wrong places, that's where it comes from, is because there's a yearning inside of every one of us to want to have someone that loves us back. That's why everybody, no matter how jacked up their life is, okay, I do want to try marriage, or I do want to, I done messed up 2 times, I'm going to try a 3rd time. Why? Because there's a void where I want to be loved back. God created us that way.
The first not good in the Bible is not good to be alone. Yeah. That's the first. Everything was good until the first not good. And so, most people who are selfish, I say all the time, the most dangerous person in the world is not the person that, the opposite of love. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is selfishness. Because, somebody that hates a person is just, you have to be in a relationship to hate somebody. You're hating somebody that you're in a relationship. I ain't talking about racism and all that stuff. I'm talking about people that you hate. But selfishness says, I only love me. Yeah. I put me. I don't care about none of y'all. I only love me. And so when that is when you're alone. But then you start craving relationship. And there's nothing like a person that has achieved great success and don't feel like people are around him or her for the right reasons. Right. So they're popular and alone. That is a horrible feeling.
And torment.
You know what I'm saying? That everybody is around you for the wrong reason. And so marriage, when you got somebody that's committed to you for you, the very attractive thing that I saw in Mona at first is I was at Morehouse, kind of popular in our little circle, because I did music, and she didn't care about She didn't find me funny one. You did find me funny, but you were laughing on the inside. She didn't find me funny, and then she didn't care about me doing music. And then she started to care for me. And that was what made her very attractive to me, because she wasn't here for what everybody else was here for. And so so marriage is it, bro. Commitment is it. Finding somebody to love. That's why we love our kids so much. Yeah. Our kids, we got some kids here, but I don't want to. But our kids come into this world as selfish as ever. they come. They don't care about you. They want their milk. They boo boo all over themselves. They come in this world, but because you have something to love, you love this person that don't even care about you yet.
But with the expectation is that kid is gonna love me back.
One day,
and there are literal people that don't want marriage but want kids.
Right.
Why? Because it's the same thing with the void. I need someone to love me back, and I know if I have a child, my own seed, they will love me unconditionally, in spite of whatever is wrong with me. Because that's what pets too.
Yeah.
It's all about, I need somebody to love me. He couldn't love me or she couldn't love me with my flaw, but my kid will.
That's why they call him man's best friend.
Yeah.
Because the man's best friend concept of a pet or a dog is really to replace the wife when we get in an argument. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So she ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do. So Ralph.
Yeah.
Ralph. Go get my you know what I'm saying?
Go get my slippers. Right.
It is. I need somebody to love me, and especially in a if you're how they bash fathers nowadays. The man be sitting there like the wife get all the love, the mom get all the love for Mother's Day. Man, they don't
this
take.
Thing can go.
I mean, it can
so many different ways because the thing is, God created a family structure so that society would work. When you do, the thing is, you want to be loved, but then you do things selfishly. You'll have a child without a father in the home just for you, and then you create a situation where that child is neglected, and it's this cycle that just keeps going, and it's all selfishness. What selflessness is, okay, let me tell you this. God never created a thing without the environment first. He created the seed, then he created the fish. He created the earth, then he created the plants. He created the marriage, and then allowed the marriage to produce kids. You don't create the product first, you create the environment. You don't create the light bulb, you create the lamp first. The lamp gives the light life. You can't live outside. Anything that lives outside of the environment it was created to dies. You take the lamp out, it can't light no more. You take the fish out of water, it dies. You take the tree out the ground, it dies. So when you create a model where the product, the child, is no longer in the right environment, statistics show that is a detriment to that child. That's why the walk in the spirit is life and the walk by carnal is death. Because when you walk according to your opinion, your mind, your preference, what you want, you are creating death somewhere.
And you're working. You're trying to create life out of hurt.
Yep.
And so most of the times you got a family. Basically, what we're saying is you're gonna have a child. That child needs to be born in a wedlock atmosphere. He needs two parents. He needs male, female parents.
You need balance.
That is the way God created it. That's not the way we created it. Y'all gotta argue with him. Look at the statistics and you'll see the health of a child based off two parents is a bigger percentage better than one with no parents. And you might say, man, what about people like LeBron James and people who make it with one? But it's an anomaly. So
to that point, this finger right here is broke. It right here.
I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah, it's broke. I broke it in the pillow fight years ago. Yeah, we got Rhea Posey invited Godsons to do a shut-in for 85 kids straight off the street.
So you were grown.
Yeah.
This ain't no
yeah,
little
nah.
kid. Oh, okay.
And we had a pillow fight with 85 goons off the street, teenagers. We got them saved that night, and then we had a pillow fight. Us 4 against all of them. And I went to swing at one of them and wrapped around my finger and he yanked it.
Oh.
This thing been broke for years. But even though it's broke and I got full use, don't mean it still ain't broke. I've gotten usage to the brokenness.
Right.
In the home, just because we're used to being broken, don't mean that it's not broken.
Right.
So even if you see something like a LeBron James, don't get used to the brokenness. It's still broke. Right. The model or the goal is not to be broke.
He fixed it.
Yeah.
He fixed it in his generation. He got married, got
his high school sweetheart. Had kids inside of that model. Now his kids are thriving.
Right.
That is the goal.
Yeah. All right, man. We can talk all day.
Yeah,
so I see that we need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
We can talk all day, and so family, you guys will see us